What's going on, man? It's your boy Jay Holley, and we are back with another episode of Unfiltered with Jesse Holley, episode 72? 71? 71. Episode 71. I am Jesse Holley, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel me when I speak. Thank you. You're far too kind. You could have been anywhere in the world, but I am so glad that you are here with me. You guys know how I like to get down. I like to give my motivation off the top, because let's be honest, some of you are not going to be here at the end. I'm just not for everybody. And you can find me every Monday, every Thursday between 4 and 7 p.m. right here at my boys' place, the Playmakers Sports Bar, 5005 State Highway 121 in the Colony. Sometimes Mike is here. Mike was just here. I just saw my boy. We chopped it up. Sometimes he might not be here. I'm going to be here Monday on Thursdays. Come see me. I may do a live show here one week. But if you want to just come here and get great food, get great drinks, the atmosphere is amazing. Playmakers 88 Sports Bar, 5005 State Highway 121, the Colony, Texas 75056. But let me get right into my motivation. It's a very simple one, but complex. Very simple motivation of the day, but at times can be very complex. And the motivation simply reads, everything requires work. Everything. Not some of the things, not a little bit of the things. Everything requires work. Hard work, creative work, inner work, outer work, smart work. Everything requires work. I think sometimes because of the social media age that we live in, we think things happen out of, as my coach used to say, you think things are gonna, he said things don't, what did he say? He said FM. Things don't happen by FM. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he'd be like, effing magic. It doesn't happen by magic. Everything requires work. If you're going to make money, going to require work. Relationship, going to require work. Parenting, going to require work. Podcasting, going to require work. You cannot name anything except dying that doesn't require work. So if you have goals and aspirations, dreams, and visionary boards and manifestations, better have work. And if you're going to be really good at them, you better have really damn good work ethic. You better be willing and ready to put in the work. Because without it, it won't happen. It won't happen at all. Everything requires work. All right, man, let's get into this thing. Cowboys take on the Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday Night Football, which I remember as a player. Like, and I know fans, and this is aside from you. As a player, it was cool to have Sunday night games. It was cool to have Monday night games. Sometimes. As an analyst, someone who does the pre and post game show, shout out to my boy Sky over at A to Z Sports. You can find us each and every Sunday covering that at Canvas. Holler at us. I hate night games. I hate them with a passion. And I'm sure it is because of I'm old. It is the old man, get off my lawn. Why the hell do I have to be up at 11 o'clock at night? I hate If it was up to me, if Jesse Holley had rule over when the Cowboys should play football games, it'd be 17 noon games. I promise you. It would be 17 of them things. I hate night games. I got to wait all day. The work is already done. By the time Sunday comes, my work is done. I've prepared all week. I've talked to y'all here. I've talked to you 5 days a week on Hanging with the Boys. I've talked to you on Believe in the Cowboys. I talked to you on Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. I've talked to you on DLLS Cowboys. Trust and believe you me. All my stones have been turned over. I didn't watch film. I didn't got notes. I didn't trace and track numbers. My show's done. I may do some tweaking here and there, but I gotta wait all day for Sunday Night Football. Isn't that song go? Waiting all day. Is that Monday night or Sunday night? It doesn't matter. You waiting all damn day anyway. Cowboys take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sunday Night Football. For these two franchises to be as historic as they have been, let me just speak for the Cowboys. Because at least they go to the playoffs every single year. Not that they do anything, but the Steelers and Cowboys doesn't have the same mystique as it once used to. Like it used to be that Steelers, Cowboys. Remember the helmets clashing together? Like you would see that. I'm not too old. My audience is old enough to remember that. Like it just doesn't feel the same. And when you go and you watch the film for this game, it definitely doesn't feel the same. Like I'm sorry to break the news to people. Please watch. This is not going to be an exciting game. It is not going to meet expectations of excitement. It will not be an instant classic. It will challenge. You will have to battle sleep. There will be a greater battle between you and dozing off than there will be Cowboys versus Steelers on the field. You're going to fight sleep harder and more aggressively than this game would be on the football field. That's just from what I'm watching on film. It doesn't have the makings of an instant classic, a 45-43 finish. Nah, it has that 17-14. It has that we straining to get stuff done. There's going to be a lot of penalties. It has some dumb plays. It has that feeling. But I'll get more into that. But, talking about when it rains, it pours. And it has been the injury storm. What's the next hurricane name? We just got finished. Was it H? So A, B, C, D, H, I. I is the next one. Okay, perfect. I didn't even plan that out. What has swept across the Cowboys landscape has been hurricane injury. When it rains, it pours. The Cowboys are already without Sam Williams, who tore his ACL in training camp. And this season has started off very lackluster, very unfulfilling. The Cowboys then put Jordan Phillips on IR with a wrist injury. Feel how you feel about that? Wink, wink. This past week, the Cowboys lost Micah Parsons to an ankle injury, high ankle sprain. And then they lost DeMarcus Lawrence to a Liz Frank or mid-foot sprain. He's been put on IR, so he'll at least miss the next 4 games before he's able to open up that 21-day window. Well, unbeknownst to us, to the fans, to the people, while in New York, Cowboys wide receiver Brandon Cooks goes and see a doctor or specialist outside of, what do they call it now in the network, right? On your insurance network, he went and saw a doctor outside of the Cowboys network, which, by the way, not illegal. Not illegal. When you hear about second opinions and so on and so forth, not illegal. Not illegal to go see somebody about a second opinion. And it's not illegal to go get injections. Okay? The team may frown upon it. They may want you to use their team doctors. But some people have their preference, rightfully so. It is against team policy if you go and get surgery and they aren't aware of it. Injections are fine. That's no different. You're going to get a B12 shot. You know, you can go get a B12 shot, a flu shot, whatever it is. An injection, as long as what it's being injected inside of you is not on the banned substance list and could come up dirty on the drug test, no problem. Surgery, different story. Well, while in New York, Brandon Cooks goes and gets an injection into his knee, has been having some knee discomfort, some knee pain, and it ended up becoming infected. Ugh. So while Cooks wanted to go outside of the Cowboys network, he now has to come inside the Cowboy network, almost with tail tucked between his legs, and say, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Now, I'm no doctor, but I did stay in the Holiday Inn. What started out as just simple injections to help knee irritation and knee pain has now or will turn into some sort of minor surgery. Because if my understanding is correct from the doctors that I've talked to and seen, in order to go and fix the infection, you got to have surgery. So then now that puts out Brandon Cooks, who to most of your points, and I know some of you are saying, well, I don't give a damn anyway. He ain't done nothing all year. So good riddance. And I say, cool, that's fine. 91 total yards in 4 games for Brandon Cooks this year. There's no argument from Jay Holley. The one thing that you do miss, though, because now you're talking about now elevating, well, Jalen Tolbert was already in the mix, but now maybe getting more reps for a guy like Jalen Brooks, a guy like Davante Turpin. And, of course, a lot of you have called and screamed and shouted out, let's see Ryan Flournoy. No problem with me. Like, at this point in time, find a spark. Find it. Don't care where you find it, but find it. But what you have to remember is the more young guys that you play, and sometimes having that youthful excitement is a good thing. But also sometimes what you also risk is you risk the ability to have someone who has a great knowledge of what's happening on the football field. This offense has already been a strain to kind of get going. It becomes even more of a strain if you have guys out there who doesn't understand hots and sights. What do I mean by that? Well, I have 5 offensive linemen to block 5 defensive linemen, right? 4 down linemen and a linebacker. You'll see Dak come out and he'll go, 52's the mic, 52's the mic. That is a clear indication that Dak is telling the offensive lineman, he who I just ID'd, 52 the mic, you count him in the count of the guy that you block. 4 down linemen plus the linebacker makes 5. I got 5 offensive linemen to block 5 defensive players. Now, what ends up happening is if they bring a 6th defensive player, that guy now belongs to the back. If they bring a 7th defensive player, now was when I start having hots and sights. Now the receivers to that side, whether it's a tight end or whether it's a receiver, we got to make some adjustments. And we have to make those adjustments now. And with Brandon Cooks, what you get from him is a guy who's been in the league for 10 years, a guy who understands what he's looking at as far as coverage, a guy who understands what he's looking at when things go a little bit awry. At least you know he knows that this is hot. You're hot. My route should adjust. My route should break off. My route should be. And those are the things that you kind of miss when you have to take away a veteran out of the lineup and insert a young football player. Will it show up in this game? Don't know. They're not a heavy blitz team, but maybe. What you don't want to happen is, what was the old saying? It's better to have and not need than need and not have. I'd rather have a guy who knows how to make those adjustments than not have a guy, because that's how bad things happen. I look out there and I may even give you a thumbs up to tell you you're good. No hots, no sights. We got it blocked up. I may give you the nod or the hand signal that, hey, we got to. If you don't understand what I'm doing because your mind is going a million miles a minute, because it's real live action out. This ain't that practice stuff that y'all be want to talk to me about. Oh, with Ryan Flournoy, so-and-so, he balled out in practice. All right. Cool. Ain't no consequences over there. See, when that thing happened in the football field and you got 80,000 folks yelling at you, the clock is winding down, Dak is yelling this out and yelling that out, and you got a here we go, guy standing on top of you, he got snot coming out of his nose, it's time to make a play, and you forgot what the hell the snap count was. I ain't telling you something that I heard, I'm telling you something that I know. So in those critical moments, if something was to pop off and now Dak needs to get rid of the ball quickly or hot or sight adjustment and you don't know, and he goes, it's a hot, I'm throwing this slant, he should be there, but you continue up the field on a go route, that's likely to be a pick six. And everybody will say, oh, Dak, there he is. In the moments where we need him the most, he throws an interception, he throws a pick six. Well, this is what you're talking about now flirting with. Now, Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Brooks, these guys may ball out. I'm just cautioning you of some of the things that happen when you insert a bunch of new and young receivers into the lineup. It ain't practice, ladies and gentlemen. Things don't go as planned in these games. And sometimes everything happens in an absolute split second. So not having Brandon Cooks out there while he isn't a spring chicken anymore, the knowledge at times brings a level of comfort. And Dak talked about it today in his presser. He's like, I'm excited for these young guys to go out there and play, but I just have to make sure that I'm not doing too much and overwhelming them because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So no Brandon Cooks for this game, and it could potentially get worse because who popped up on the injury report today? Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs popped up on the injury report with an ankle injury. Don't know how severe it is. He was limited at practice today. And then also Kalen Carson, he's on the injury report with a shoulder injury. He missed last week. Mike McCarthy said in his presser today that he's going to have to do a lot today to make him feel comfortable with playing him this weekend. Saw the Cowboys. You saw what Daniel Jones was able to do against Booth. They benched Booth in the second half. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the guy's Amari's. I'm going to call him A.O. I ain't going to try to pronounce his name. But he came in, served well, had an interception to end that game. So he may be getting the start this week. And while Pittsburgh doesn't have elite receivers, they do have a dog. In every sense of the word. He was a Georgia Bulldog. He's a dog. Like George Pickens is a dog. And he doesn't like my boy Jeff Kavanaugh said, he has remnants of a Des Bryant. And what I mean by that is that when the ball is in the air, Dez had this aggression and this attitude and this spirit about him of that ball belongs to me. No matter where it's put, it belongs to me. And I'll go up, over, I'll go around, I'll go through. And if I get my hands on it, it's you, it's me, the ball belongs to me. And George Pickens has that feel to him. So hopefully you're not down Diggs and Carson. Hopefully that Diggs, because he's probably going to be the one that you want traveling or at least guarding in critical situations, George Pickens in those moments. So not having both of them would definitely put this secondary in a world of trouble. In a world of trouble. But it's going to be interesting. This defense is it will be Jimmy and Joe challenged. When you take away Micah Parsons from a defense, I mean, we're talking arguably one of the best athletes, not only just on this team, but the whole league. When you take him away, there isn't anyone on this offense that gives you ball up top, one-on-one, I can go get a basket. You know what I'm saying? Like Micah can give you, like, you don't have to necessarily scheme up Micah to get home. Mike is so naturally gifted, so naturally talented, big, strong, fast, naturally, that just being him and him alone is enough. And just being him and him alone is far greater than anything else that you will be able to put out there. When teams break the huddle, they get to the line of scrimmage and they go, "Where's 11? Let's scan it. Oh, there he is. We're going to slide protection to him. We're going to double team him. We're going to run at him. We're going to have the tight end come back across and block him." When Pittsburgh breaks the huddle on Sunday night, it's ho-hum. We're not looking for anybody. We're not trying to find, the game wrecker. We're not trying to find the guy who is going to be a mismatch problem. You're going to line up against guys. And I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that to disrespect guys like Oso Odighizuwa or Golson or Nealon or any of those guys. But there's a reason he's Micah Parsons, and we speak about him in that tone. And there's a reason why we don't speak about y'all in that tone. And I swear, I know sometimes my mouth gets away from me. I do not mean that disrespectfully. I mean that in the most sincere, straightforward, possible way possible. You're not Micah Parsons. And then you're not even Tank. You are the guys that fall behind him, and your task will be tall this weekend. And even while you're practicing, even while you're trying to put a game plan together, even while you're trying to be locked in to you're trying to have blinders. You're trying to have the blinders and block out the noise and lock in on this big time game for us, man. We got 3 big time games, 2 big time games coming up before the bye, a third after the bye. We need to hone in and lock in and focus. And we're practicing. And it's a Wednesday. It's full day of practice. And we're all here. We're hurting. We're sore. And then you hear it. And you get to looking around. Well, as you're in the middle of practice, in the words of Allen Iverson, not a game. We talking about practice. And you look up, and there it is, in the middle of the practice. Air Force One. The helicopter. As you're trying to lock in and hone in and hear the instructions of the head coach and your position coach, and we're trying to all be in this thing, because we got a big game coming up. Jerry Jones halts practice. And practice comes to a standstill. And practice needs to be moved. Because right in the middle of practice, Jerry decides, and Jerry being Jerry Jones, I need to land my helicopter. Only in Dallas, Texas does this happen. Now, if anybody knows the time and the place that practice is going on, it's the president, it's the owner, it's the president, it is the general manager. And while it may not be the issue that I may be making it out to be, it is everything that is wrong with Dallas. It is everything that is a distraction. It is everything that gets people to consistently to talk about this football team in terms that don't address winning in championship football. Landing his helicopter on the practice field while practice is going on. Again, it may not mean anything, but it is just another stark reminder when you hear about the circus, when you hear about the inflated attention to things that happen around the star. It's another example of that. You knew what time practice was. What was so necessary that at that moment, at that time, that you felt that you needed to stop practice to land your helicopter? I'm going to take this quote from Maniacho. And I don't take many things from Maniacho when it comes to talking sports stuff, but this one was good. This one was really good. In regards to Jerry Jones landing his helicopter on the practice field in the middle of practice, stopping and delaying practice on a Wednesday. Wednesday is the main install day. It's the heavy day. It's the day that you put on pads. It is the day that you actually go out there and try to put the bulk of this week's game plan in. It ain't a walkthrough. It ain't a walkthrough. It is the all important day. All the days are important, but Wednesday is the most important. It is the tone setter of the week's worth of practice. It is the place where we go to put in everything that we're going to put in foundationally for this week's game. And Manny said this. He said, attention only comes before success in two places. This should have been the word of the day. This should have been the motivation of the day. Manny said, attention only comes first. Attention only comes before success in two places. In the dictionary and in Dallas. Attention, attention, attention. And that's what it just felt like it was. It felt like, and maybe I'm maybe I'm bugging. And maybe the timing of it all, the optics of it all. Like, your team is reeling right now. People are holding up signs saying fire the GM. People don't feel good about this franchise. They just don't. And sometimes it's just, baby, we got to read the room. And we don't need to create narratives. We don't need to create narratives of things that we actually can control. And it just felt like one of those unnecessary attention seek. And I could be dead wrong. I'm telling you how it reads from the outside. It could have been who are the people that do the air traffic control? Air traffic control, and I don't think they only get involved because you're flying at a lower height. But air traffic control will say, "Hey, here's the window. You got to get this. You got to get this chopper down. Here's the window. You got to get it down." And that window could have actually been in the only time that he could. It could have been. But I'm telling you how it feels from the outside, the optics of it all. It looks like there goes Jerry seeking attention in a time where we need relief. People are looking for answers. People are looking around and saying, what are you doing to help this football team today? And again, I could be 1,000% wrong on why he had to land the plane at that point in time, at that juncture, in that place. Could be wrong. But I'm not wrong about the optic that it looked. My phone went crazy. The things that people were texting me about, like, and they're Cowboy fans. It just looks bad. And so when Manny Alcho says that attention only comes before success in two places, the dictionary in Dallas, I can't be mad at him. Because that's what it felt like. And maybe that's what Jerry wanted. But when you couple that with your team is not playing good football at all. When you couple that when you tell people that we cannot afford players, when you tell people we like our guys, when you say these things, it just doesn't, the picture that you're painting isn't Picasso. It's Pakaka. It doesn't look good. And to not be redundant, I could be totally wrong of why you had to land the plane there, the helicopter there. At that time, at that place. And this isn't the first time he's landed it there. It is absolutely the first time he's landed it there, and it stopped practice. It's a bad look. It is a really, really, really bad look on the outside. Don't know the reason. Probably will never know. But the way that it reads, the way that it visually was captured, the way that it sits in the faces of fans, they feel like you playing in their face. Like, it felt like one of those. It felt like one of those. I'm richer than y'all, which we all know. But it just felt like, let me put it in your face. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching, but I'm just telling you how it felt. If you're listening, Jerry, I'm telling you, your boy telling you how it felt. Not a good look. One of the guys on that practice field that was watching Jerry Jones, as he descended from the sky onto the practice field, this player last week ascended from the realms of you trash, bro. Like this player was in that realm of you trash, bro. And for the first time in a long time, he was able to ascend out of that. Maybe he was on Air Force One and ascended out of the you trash, bruh, river and found himself flying high. That player, Mozzie Smith. And I called on my friend, my brethren. Y'all call him Swagoo. Those on TV call him Marcus Spears. I call him M. Dot. Those that know. I call him M. Dot. And around this time last week, and I called on M. Dot today. I tweeted him today. Around this time last week, Marcus Spears, Big Swagoo, my boy M. Dot, he made it very aggressive. Very aggressive. And I like aggressive. I like aggressive. I like aggressive when you put your name on it even more. I like that. I like that junk. I like that junk. I like that junk. Ooh, I like when you be aggressive and you don't hide behind it. It ain't no source said. It ain't no a name close to the situation. No. When you aggressive and you put your name on it, I like it. And Marcus Spears said he's soft. S-O-F capital T. Soft. And it felt like Mozzie responded. And Mozzie said in the post game, he said, I hear what they saying about me. I hear what they calling me. And he responded, the best game that he's played in his short-lived career. M. Dot, if you're listening, if you happen to like or subscribe, oh, by the way, like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I want to be all in your chats. YouTube, Fanatic Views, Unfiltered with Jesse Holley, like everywhere, Apple, Spotify. Okay, all the clips that were there. We outside, as the young people say. M. Dot, if you're scrolling through this, I do it again. Whatever it takes, do it again. And I'm not going to say, I don't know, people are going to say, well, tell them the whole team. We want the whole team to respond like that. Oh, pump y'all brakes. We don't want to overload the circuits. Okay? One battle at a time. Let's call Mozzie soft again. Let's get him going. Okay? Because that could have been a flash in the pan. I want to get him. I want this to be consistent. Then we'll pick the next dude that we need to get on, Tyler Guyton. We'll pick him soon. But right now, let's see if we can't jumpstart Mozzie again. So M. Dot, if you're listening, when you get on NFL Live this week on the Full Letter Network, do your boy and Cowboy Nation a favor. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. And say it again. Because it worked. I don't know if that was the reason why, but I can say it is. He said it. He said he heard him. Mozzie said that. So if he said he heard him, maybe it worked. Let's try it again. Let's see if it works again. Let's see if you have that power again, M. Dot. Most of you guys and gals, because we don't discriminate on this show. We like them all as far as watching. I don't like them all. Let's be very clear with that, okay? Jay Holley don't play that way. I'm not judging that do. You will have to meet, every knee will bow, every tongue will confess when you get to the pearly gates. Like I will. But I don't float that way, okay? But a lot of you know my story, and you know that I grew up without a dad. You know that I grew up without a mom. If you don't know my story, just Google it. I'm Googleable. Side note, squirrel moment side note. I was sitting in this very office that I'm sitting in today, the Playmaker's office. I was sitting in this office earlier, and Michael Irvin was in here, and we were talking. He had a guest in here. We were just sitting here having a conversation, and he was introducing me to this guest of his. And he said something, and I was just like, hell yeah, bro. Damn right. And as he was introducing this guy, he was kind of giving himself a little credit too, and I'm not mad at that. He was like, hey, Jess played for the Cowboys, and he's like, I had a reality TV show called Fourth Alone Michael Irvin. And he says, Jesse won that show. You guys know this. But what he said next was, he said, yeah, this is the only guy in NFL history to ever make a roster from a reality TV show. And I was like, you got darn right I am. I just felt good. It just felt good to know that one day when I die, hopefully not too soon. Lord, not too soon. I got plans. I need to come back here next Monday. Not too soon. Please. But I was like, you know what? When I die and I'm dead and gone, that's going to have to be a thing that they say. I'm one of one. That's pretty cool. And to hear Mike say it, I've said it to myself before, but hear Mike say it was pretty cool. But you guys know my story. Didn't grow up with a mom, didn't grow up with a dad. But from this day forward, know what my goal is? And y'all probably think I'm about to say something real deep and real just riveting. My goal from this day forward is to find someone to love me, all of me, all my curves and all my edges. Shout out to John Legend. To find someone to love me the way that Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy love this ugly roster. Every single time they talk about this guy's available, that guy's available. Are you planning on making any trades? Are you planning on doing anything in the, bringing this guy up or doing this? They hit him with the same response. We love the guys on this roster. We love our guys. We're comfortable with that room. We're comfortable with those guys. And I'm like, damn, talk about unconditional love. Dude, how? I am trying to wrap my mind around how. This is what unconditional love looks like? This is some sacrificial love. We like our guys. We like, you say a position. Oh, running backs. Oh, we like that room. We're comfortable with that room. We love that. We love those guys. Receiver. Oh, we love that room. Offensive line. Oh, we love those guys. Love our guys. There isn't one category, one grouping in the National Football League on a positive note that your grouping is in the top 10. as a group. Not one. I need somebody to love my flaws, to love my imperfections, to love my inabilities, to love my shortcomings, to love my lack thereof, to love my unproductivity. I need somebody to love me. Heavy D had a song like, I need some to love me. He had a song like that. I need somebody to love me. It's a diddle D. Yeah. Somebody to love me like that. I need that. I need, if you're out there, I need love. I need fatherly love, motherly love. I need that love wrapped around me so tight. I got a lot of making up to do. But I get so frustrated listening to these guys talk sometimes. We love our guys. We love that room. We're comfortable with these guys. Like when I hear like comfortable, the first thing I thought about was, you remember on Cinderella? When Cinderella lost her slipper? And the prince was going around the city and he was trying to find out, who does this slipper fit? And when he got to the house and all her sisters were there and all of those fat feet, they were trying to stuff in that shoe. I'm like, is that how like that gotta be the comfort y'all talking about? You're comfortable with this roster? I don't get it. But if you're out there and you want to love me the way that Mike and Jerry, and what it basically is, it's we're not going to admit we put together a bad roster. That's what that is. That's what that means. It means that we going to love this ugly baby that we laid down and made. Some of you can relate to this. Literally can relate to this. Y'all laid down and made some ugly babies. And now you got to love this ugly baby regardless. Sorry. I don't want to be mean. But some of y'all, you know who you are. But that's what that means. They said we're not going to allow ourselves to we're not going to hold ourselves accountable. I'm not going to come out here and tell you that we made a bad roster. I'm not going to come out here and tell you that all in wasn't a thing. Nah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep dressing this baby up in some Gucci, Fendi, Louis, Prada, and keep putting it out. It's still going to be an ugly baby, no matter how many times you tell me. They got to just love it. And like you guys who have ugly children or ugly spouses or whatever, you got to love them. You got to love them. And that's just what it is. But I want to find that love. So if you're out there and you want to love me the way that Jerry Jones, and you don't want to be accountable for that, call me. I need love. Like LL, I need love. Sometimes I sit in my room and just stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a girl who's as sweet as a dove. I need that. Love me like Mike and Jerry love this ugly roster. All right, man, let's move around. Let's move around sports. Davante Adams wants out of Vegas. He has come to his wits' end. He left Green Bay in hopes to go play football with his friend. And as soon as he got there, they traded his friend away. They traded Derek Carr away to the. They traded him away. They released him. He signed. They traded him. Released him. They released him. They didn't love Derek Carr like Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy loved this roster. They traded him away. They released him. He went to the Saints, and it It left old Tay with scrubs. A little Jimmy G, little Gardner Minshew, little Aiden O'Connell. Nobody of significance. Now he's come to wits end. And there are some teams that are interested. We love our guys. The Jets are reported to be interested in Davante Adams. Of course, Davante Adams, he got his career started and got a name for being in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers could probably use another weapon out there in New York. The New Orleans Saints. Davante left Green Bay to go to Vegas to be with his friend Derek Carr. Derek Carr is the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. They got a really good offense under Kubiak. And the Chiefs, they lost Rashee Rice for the year with his knee injury. They're probably going to want to and the Chiefs are one that they'll take that chance. They really go all in when they say they want to go all in. We like our guys. And then, of course, you got to say, and the Cowboys are interested. But that's just talk. That's just anytime you want to run the price up, you want to create interest and buzz, you throw the Cowboys in there. You say the Cowboys are interested. And they've already shown you that we're not interested by the way that we've moved all year long. Since January, February, we're not all in. So there's no way that we're interested in and trading for Davante Adams. Oh, sidebar, they're not in on Amari Cooper either. For you people who may be like, well, what about Amari Cooper? They're not in on Amari Cooper. Come here, let me tell you a secret. It's just you and me. Amari didn't leave the Cowboys because of business reasons. Amari left the Cowboys for personal reasons. Jerry didn't like that he didn't get the jab during COVID. And he pissed Jerry off. And Jerry sent them packing to Cleveland. He ain't coming back. When Jerry makes it personal, it stays personal. Don't tell nobody I told you that. But the people that throw the Cowboys in there to say, oh, yeah, the Cowboys are interested. Not happening. But between now and November, when the trade deadline comes, I'm almost confident. Oh, and by the way, guess who's hurt this week? Hurt. Davante Adams. Hammy. Can't go. I think he went to the same doctor that Jordan Phillips went to. I think so. I think that. What's the Dr. Love, my boy? What did he do? Remember the Dr. Love dude who had a building and all that kind of stuff? The young kid, he locked up. But yeah, his hammy. He told him his hammy hurt. Y'all decipher that however you want to decipher it. He said his hammy hurt. His hammy hurt. But Davante Adams is not coming to Dallas. I would be, what's a word greater than shocked? Floored. I would be floored if they made that trade. Literally would be floored. But best of luck to Davante Adams wherever he lands. Just don't, I mean, the rich will get richer. The Jets will get him, or the Saints will get him, or the Chiefs will get him. And we'll have to see him go and thrive in those environments and help the Chiefs win a three-peat. And we'll go, well, we could have used. And also, let me say this. The Cowboys aren't one player away. Like, I know there may be, like, the Cowboys are not one player away. Either they sign Davante Adams today, they still not would be a favorite to win the division, let alone a damn Super Bowl. And if I were making decisions and I was going to take the risk with something, I'm going to get somebody defensively. I'm going to get Jeffrey Simmons. I'm trying to steal away Chris Jones. Like, I'm trying to go to get an impact player like that. I'm Dexter Lawrence. I'm trying to trade for one of those jokers. I mean, Davante's nice. He's cool and all that kind of stuff. But if you get a little bit more creative with your offense, Mike McCarthy, you won't even really need another big-time receiver like that. The ones that you got are pretty fine. You know, they're okay, but you got a really, really, really good one outside in 88. Just stop lining them always outside and having them run curl routes all day long. That might be, that might work. You know what else bothers me to the core? It's family members of famous people. I can't stand y'all. And it's not all of y'all. It's the ones who won't sit the hell down somewhere and shut the hell up. I have a disdain for y'all. When you have a family member, man or woman, out here trying to make a way in this world through athletics, and they have the public eye on them, and you don't want to sit the hell down somewhere and shut the hell up. And what even makes it even more and more aggravating is when the family member is like one of the immediate family members, like a brother, a sister, a spouse, a dad, or a mom. Rashee Rice, now injured Chiefs wide receiver. You may know the name. You may have heard the name both on and off the field. Rashee this summer had a situation where he thought it was a good idea for him and a couple of his boys to get some very fast cars, expensive cars, and head down Highway 75 here in Dallas, which can be an Autobahn at times, weaving in and out of cars at high speeds, and then created an accident, multi-car accident. But that's not the bad part. The bad part, you created the accident. But what gets even worse is that he walked away from the scene of the crime and tried to, like, some of these kids are dumb. Like, the cars are in your name. They're going to find you. That's where you probably heard his name from. And if you didn't hear his name from that this offseason, then you probably heard the work that he was doing on the field this season before recently getting hurt on an interception that Patrick Mahomes threw, and it was trying to make a tackle and landed and hit the knee of Rashee Rice. But that's not what we're talking about here. That's where you probably heard the name Rashee Rice from. Where you probably are about to get upset like me is, like I told you guys, I absolutely hate when family members get in the way. Recently, Rashee Rice's mother, a mother of all people, was caught on someone's Ring door camera stealing an Amazon package. Stealing an Amazon package. The mother of Rashee Rice was arrested and charged 1-count misdemeanor, and that is the equivalent, that's property theft, greater or equal to $100, but less than $750. You know what she stole? 2 vinyl records. Limited edition vinyl records of, I don't even know who the hell this is. What is it? Chappelle Rowan? Young 26-year-old singer. Never heard of the young lady. No disrespect to you, young lady. Sing your heart out. Continue to do what you do. Much success to you. But she stole 2 limited edition vinyl records. What? And this isn't even the first time she has got arrested for stealing stuff. In March, the 27th to be exact, she was arrested and charged for another misdemeanor. She stole 40 items. Items containing food, a tumbler, laundry products, socks, and some other things from a man in Dallas. And what makes it even worse, like, Mom, you didn't steal and be stealthy about it. You stole from a neighbor with Amazon packages with the custom Chiefs jersey on that says Mama Rice on the back. Not only, and I do not want to disrespect someone's mother, I am talking about a criminal here. But not only are you a thief, but you're a dumb thief. You didn't have enough decency and criminal mindset to take the damn jersey you got on off. Your jersey across the back says Mama Rice with Rashee's number on it. 2 vinyl records. We got to do better. If you're listening to this and you're a brother, sister, mother, father, cousin, niece, nephew, anybody of someone who is a celebrity, please. Like, despite it being 2 vinyl records, what could have possibly been in a door-side Amazon box that you couldn't call your son, who clearly you just left the game or around him, and said, I need X, Y, and Z, and couldn't have got it? It's an Amazon box. It wasn't, you didn't, it's an Amazon, it wasn't a Rolex. It wasn't the crown jewel. It's in an Amazon box. What could have been so, like, that what that tells me? I know your type. You're a klepto. Like, you have an issue. You steal just to steal. Like, that's what you do. Like, you steal just for the thrill of stealing, to get away with stealing. Like, that's what you, like, you get turned on by the thrill of the chase. Because there's no way that your son is an NFL star. Small star, but a star. And you steal your neighbor's or a neighbor's Amazon box? Whatever was in that box, you could have called and had someone send it Amazon Prime, and you'd have got it that night or at least the day before, the next day. That's the person that has a problem. You're a kleptomaniac. Like, you steal for the thrill. It is something that drives you, because that's just so uncalled for. And now your son's name, because as you mentioned, I ain't say your name one time. I'm gonna keep saying Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice moms. Rashee Rice moms. And that's probably my fault. I probably should say your name. But I ain't even take the fact to look up your name. You Rashee Rice mom. So now every report that comes out, it doesn't come out as your name alone. It comes out under Rashee's name. As if he don't got enough problems on his hands. But what he got to deal with in the near future. I don't get it. You need help. I don't know if you guys saw it this past week when the Colorado Buffaloes took on the UCF Knights in Orlando. Got it right this time. Prior to the game, and it's hard to miss, he's 6'5" and he's 270 pounds and he wears funny hats. But in the spectacle that is Deion Sanders primetime football, the stars will appear. No different than this one. And this time it was former NFL MVP, college Heisman winner, national champion, Cameron Jarrell Newton. That's really his name. Look it up. Cameron Jarrell Newton. I didn't make this up this time. I hope I didn't. It's Cameron Jarrell Newton. Cam Newton. I know. And Cam, like the rest of the stars, he's out on the field, and Cam comes on the field, and you guys saw the footage. If you didn't, look it up. And Cam is trying to dap up, one black quarterback to the next one. He's trying to dap up Shedeur Sanders. And what I like about Shedeur, and it's probably some things that I don't like about Shedeur, but what I like about this younger generation in general, these young folks stand on business. If they don't fool with you, ain't gonna be no shady, no, what's up, man, what's going on? If they don't fool with you, they gonna be like, nah, I'm good. And Shedeur's like, nah, man, nah, we good, nah, I'm good. And Cam's trying to shake his hand. And then he goes over to Travis Hunter and he's trying to shake Travis Hunter's hand. He's like, nah, I'm good. And it all stems from not too long ago, Cam was on his podcast. What is it, 4th and 1? Can't be 4th and long. That's already taken. And he's on his podcast and, they're always trying to compare quarterbacks, especially the black ones. They want to compare them. And, and they were trying to compare Shedeur and Cam. And Cam, I think this is something that Cam needs to realize. And Cam just basically was talking. Cam was talking. And Cam has, when you're done what Cam has done on the collegiate level, you can talk how Cam talks. I mean, there are very few people that can say that they're a national champion, a Heisman Trophy winner, and an NFL MVP. That's a very short list. A very, very short list to say that I'm a collegiate national champion, a Heisman winner, and an NFL MVP. Short list. So collegiately, Cam can talk how Cam wants to talk. And he basically was saying you can't really compare me and Shedeur in the same, he's like, well, what games have he, what big games has he won? I was like, Cam's like, yo, I know what conference I played in. No offense to the HBCUs of the world. No offense to the Big 12 of the world. The new Big 12. What were they in before? The Big 10? Last year? Pac-12, excuse me. No offense to the Pac-12. But when it comes to college football, in the last 20 years, the SEC is king. That's just, and we not debating that. And I'm an ACC dude. We ain't debating that. So I get it. But what Cam also has to realize, and I said this to myself when I got into this business of, being an analyst and being, on a podcast. What you say on this mic gets back to the players immediately. Trust me, I know. I've had a few of them and their family members, brothers and mamas, not like what I said. It's okay. I'm not trying to be y'all friend. I'm not trying to dap you up. That ain't my style. And Cam has to remember, like, when you say things, they're going to receive them because they all have rabbit ears. And they may not take them the way that you intended them to take. And at times, it's going to be difficult for you to walk around, to have a podcast, and to be critical. And it doesn't matter how minute your criticism is, we deal with a lot of tender babies. They tender. So they don't accept criticism, or even when they, because I don't think what Cam said about, I went back and listened to it. I don't think what Cam said about Shedeur was malicious, had ill intent. He was just saying, like, when you compare me and Shedeur, we really don't line up. Good player. I was the best player in college football when I played. I won a national championship. We really, like, I got games that you go back and you look at and you go, there is no, and Cam's, and I'm not trying to dap Shedeur up, but Cam's right. There is no comparing. Cam was the number 1 overall pick, am I right, in the draft? And Shedeur will be a top 5, top 10 pick, but there is no comparison. Compare what you're doing, great. Cam was greater. So when Cam says you can't compare us, we ain't on the same page. We like, what is his big games? Cam's not speaking from a malicious place. He's speaking from, bro, I was like that. He was like that. Do your Googles. Cam was like that. Out of high school, like that. Florida, got in some trouble, blend, back to Auburn, like that. When he got into the league, he was like that. He won an MVP, went to a Super Bowl. That's the time, like, y'all be treating Cam like he wasn't like that at all. You know what I'm saying? But Cam also has to remember, like, they not gonna receive it well. But they had a conversation, and Cam said it was really contentious, but we ironed it out. We got through it. But Cam gonna have to know, you're gonna have to realize, brother, when you get on this platform, when you start speaking into this microphone, all that dapping up, it's gonna have to be at a minimum. One guy who gets in front of this microphone and says a lot of stuff. Some of it's true, some of it not true. Some of you like it, some of you don't like it. The Floyd Mayweather thing is, some of you watch to hate, some of you watch for the fall, some of you watch because you're a fan. Stephen A. Smith was outside, and he's up for a new contract. Now, here's where I think Stephen A. Smith spoke a little bit out of turn. Because you can speak about yourself and the things that you want to do and that you're trying to grow without bringing in another man. And Stephen A. is up for a massive contract. If you don't know who Stephen A. is, Stephen A. Is the host of First Take, has been that over at ESPN. I think he's the highest dude over there at ESPN right now, rightfully so. Excuse me. He has a number 1 show, has had the number 1 show for over 10 years over at ESPN, is due for a contract. And they're talking about his contract is upwards of wanting over $100 million. He's looking at the landscape and he's saying Tony Romo got this, Tom Brady's doing football, he got 375, and Troy Aikman and these guys are doing this. And I am the hottest thing on TV, on sports talk television. Number 1. Like Cam. Stephen A. can talk that. But here's what I didn't like. And he joined Chris Wallace on CNN's Boardroom. And the quote says, Stephen A. reiterated his desire for a $100 million contract over 5 years. Stephen A. said, and I quote, "It ain't false," he declared when he asked about the amount. He argued that his position in sports media warrants significant compensation, especially in the light of what is being brought to the table. He says, look at the ratings, Stephen A. says. Look at the ratings, look at the revenue, and then look at mine. He said, drawing a stark contrast between his success, and here's where I think Stephen A. you didn't have to say this. You didn't have to use this comparison. He said, look at his success and the success of, look at his success and the Prescott's recent contract, meaning Dak Prescott, who just got a new contract for $240 million. Stephen A. pointed out, while Prescott earns around $60 million annually, he's only led the Cowboys to 2 playoff wins in 8 seasons. In contrast, Stephen A. Smith has maintained the number 1 spot in this industry for over a decade. He confidently stated, in our respective industries, I win. His assertion reflects his belief that the value he adds to ESPN has far exceeded what Prescott has achieved with the Cowboys. Now, 2 things could be right from my perspective. Can Stephen A. talk like I won $100 million? Absolutely. Men lie, women lie. The numbers don't lie. Again, feel how you feel about Stephen A., especially if you're a Cowboys fan. He's been number 1 in an industry that goes up and down for over 10 years. But you ain't got to bring Dak in this conversation. My dude, why? How are you comparing what you do and what Dak do? You could have said Trevor Lawrence. You could have said, what's concussion dude down in Miami? Tua Tagovailoa. You could have said Josh Allen. You could have said someone in your own city. You could have said Boo-Boo Daniel Jones. You could have said Jalen Hurts. You could have said Joe Burrow. There was a number of dudes you could have said that you did not have to use that man's name. You ain't have to use that name. You didn't have to compare, look at what I do over here. Look what he does over there. And he's only had 2 playoff wins in 8 years. Okay. There's a ton of people in your industry that you could have used their name. And I don't mean to make this, racially motivated, but that was just an unnecessary shot at a black brother who's all he's trying to do is play ball and feed his family. He didn't make the bar what it was. This is where the league is going. But for you to come out and say that, Stephen A., I thought that was petty. I thought that was immature. I thought it was highly unnecessary. And I actually thought it's above you. Maybe. Why you ain't gonna pick a white player to say that about? Trevor Lawrence, who was the number 1 overall pick, has not lived up to that bill. Daniel Jones has not even nearly lived up to the $40 million he's getting over there. Yes, Joe Burrow's been to 1 Super Bowl appearance. He ain't been back since. Josh Allen. That was unnecessary. I didn't like it. And you should be ashamed of yourself for even having to bring Dak's name in this situation. It was petty. It was highly unnecessary. It should have been beneath you. You could have found 100 other comparisons. You could have used actors, actresses, peers in your profession, race car drivers, baseball players, basketball players. Like, you could have used a ton of other people. It was unnecessary. Be better, bro. And I'll end with this. The debate is over. The wait is over. You no longer have to speculate. Caitlin Clark is your WNBA Rookie of the Year. And if I'm being honest, I love the impact that both Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has had, as well as others, right? Huge Asia Wilson fan, the best basketball player on this planet. Nafisa Collier. I mean, the list goes on, and the league is growing and growing and growing. Breanna Stewart, Ionescu, Agumalale, Enrique Agumalale. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The WNBA is growing to its heights. But I agree. Caitlin Clark did bring some energy in there. And it doesn't mean that the others didn't. But Caitlin Clark also did some things that broke records this year, as well as Angel Reese. And they both deserve recognition and to be admonished and to be celebrated. But Caitlin Clark is the Rookie of the Year. We don't have to fight about that. It doesn't have to be a black and white thing. It doesn't have to be a racial thing. It doesn't have to be whatever, a political thing. Caitlin Clark was the Rookie of the Year. She deserved it. And that's not Jesse talking about, oh, Jesse, you just, no. It's right. It's right. When she showed up to arenas, the arenas got sold out. As well as people like Asia Wilson and Angel Reese had her. But this is not about an Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark thing. Caitlin Clark was the better of the two rookies. And we can say that, and we can celebrate them both, and we can watch the game, and we can grow the game for the women, and we can have these young ladies go out there, continue to thrive, and we can look forward to Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers and all those coming up, underneath them. But this year it was Caitlin Clark, the white girl from Iowa. That's just what it is. Try harder next year. Maybe Angel Reese can win the MVP one year. But it's not about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was the better basketball player this year. And that who that award goes to. All right, man, that does it for me. Another episode of Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Fanatic Views, Unfiltered with Jesse Holley YouTube page. Mr. Fourth and Long on Twitter. You can catch me all week long, 4 days a week. DLLS Cowboys. You can find me all over the place on that. You can find me on Hanging with the Boys at DallasCowboys.com. You can find me on A to Z Sports on Sundays doing the pre-halftime and post-game show with Scott Walker. You can find me on Believe in the Cowboys 2 days a week. I'm outside. I ain't trying to dap all y'all up if I say something about y'all. So you ain't going to Shedeur me. I'll Shedeur you. I got a new watch. I'll Shedeur you. I'm going to get it working soon. All right, man. Appreciate you guys. Remember, everything requires work. It don't matter what you do. It requires work. If you don't have no plan to work, then don't have no plan for success. That's it for your boy, man. Remember, eliminate the contingencies. I'm out.